Prince William just unlocked Camilla's secret room hidden for 20 years. Its shocking was never supposed to become more than another royal rumor whispered behind palace walls. But the moment William placed that old brass key into the lock inside Clarence House, the entire future of the monarchy allegedly began collapsing in silence. Because what he discovered was not just a hidden room, it was a buried war, a private archive of betrayal, a collection of secrets so explosive that even King Charles himself had reportedly never been allowed inside. And according to palace whispers, the deeper William looked into that room, the more he became convinced that Princess Diana had spent her final years trapped inside a carefully controlled nightmare orchestrated by the very woman who eventually became queen.
Look at the atmosphere. I mean, I did find it harrowing.
Did you find it harrowing?
I did.
Inside Clarence House, renovation workers had already been uneasy for weeks. The eastern corridor reportedly carried an almost haunted atmosphere. Staff avoided discussing the locked room at the far end of the hallway because even longtime employees allegedly knew there were rules surrounding it. Nobody entered. Nobody asked questions. Even Charles himself supposedly respected the boundary around Camilla's private chamber, as if he feared what might sit behind the oak door. That alone disturbed William once the story reached him. Because how does a queen keep a room hidden for more than 20 years inside a royal residence without everyone around her sensing something darker beneath the surface? Then came the discovery that changed everything. A construction worker removing an old mirror reportedly uncovered a concealed compartment hidden inside the wall, paneling, and inside it, an engraved brass key marked with the initials Seats, Camilla Shand, her maiden name. The moment the worker handed that key upward through palace management, the information moved quickly through royal channels until it finally landed in Prince William's hands. Suddenly, this stopped being renovation work. Suddenly, it became personal, deeply personal. Because for William, Camilla was never just his father's wife. She was the woman forever connected to the collapse of Diana's marriage, Diana's pain, Diana's tears, Diana's humiliation in front of the world. When William received the call at Kensington Palace, insiders claim his entire expression changed. Kate reportedly saw it immediately. 1 second, he was with George, Charlotte, and Louis, and the next, he looked like someone carrying the weight of 20 years of buried anger. He allegedly said only a few words before leaving. "It concerns Mom." And that sentence alone says everything. Because no matter how polished royal life appears publicly, Diana's shadow has never truly disappeared from William's mind. Late that night, William reportedly arrived alone at Clarence House while Camilla remained in Scotland. The building was silent, empty corridors, dim lights, security guards speaking in hushed voices. And there he stood outside the locked door, holding the brass key that nobody had touched for decades. But according to insiders, William could not bring himself to open it immediately. That hesitation matters. Because some truths are so dangerous that people instinctively fear seeing them confirmed. He reportedly walked away the first night, realizing this room could destroy far more than reputations. It could destroy the monarchy itself. After several sleepless nights, William finally returned during a violent storm. And this time, he opened the door. What waited inside allegedly stunned him into silence. No glamorous royal wardrobe. No expensive gowns displayed under golden lights. Instead, the room looked like a hidden archive buried outside history itself. Filing cabinets, dust-covered trunks, locked chests, private documents stacked everywhere like evidence hidden from public view. And then came the object that reportedly stopped William cold. Diana's pearl necklace. The same necklace believed lost after her funeral in 1997. Sitting inside Camilla's private room all these years. That discovery alone reportedly shattered William emotionally. Because suddenly this was no longer gossip or speculation. This was physical proof that pieces of Diana's private world had somehow remained hidden inside the possession of the woman linked to her suffering. Insiders claim William's hands trembled as he stared at the necklace. Not from fear, from rage. A deep, unresolved rage carried since childhood. But the true horror allegedly began when William opened a large chest marked D's. Diana Spencer. Inside were stacks of handwritten letters, some addressed to Charles, others written to William and Harry, and some horrifyingly addressed directly to Camilla herself. The letters reportedly described Diana's emotional collapse during the breakdown of her marriage, her feelings of betrayal, and her growing fear that powerful people inside the royal machine wanted her silenced. Every page allegedly felt less like private correspondence and more like the testimony of someone trapped inside a carefully managed prison disguised as royal life. One letter reportedly changed William forever, a sealed envelope marked "For William when he's ready." According to sources, Diana warned him directly about Camilla's ambition and manipulation. She allegedly claimed threats had been used to force her silence, especially involving William and Harry's safety and custody. And the moment William finished reading that letter, palace insiders say he completely broke down emotionally inside the hidden room. Because suddenly the pain of losing Diana collided with a terrifying possibility. What if his mother had been telling telling the truth all along. The discoveries reportedly became even darker. William allegedly uncovered a legal enda connected to Diana's silence during the Charles-Camilla affair years. The terms supposedly warned Diana against publicly exposing certain relationships or risk consequences involving her sons. And then came the final item, a USB drive allegedly containing private recordings connected to Charles and Camilla themselves. That discovery reportedly convinced William the room had not simply hidden memories. It had hidden leverage, insurance, secrets powerful enough to destabilize the crown itself if exposed publicly. But what makes this entire situation even more explosive is what happened next. The moment word reached Camilla that William had entered the room, insiders claim panic spread instantly through her inner circle. And according to Palace Whispers, that panic triggered a ruthless counterattack designed to destroy William before he could destroy her. Rumors suddenly exploded online. Old affair allegations involving Rose Hanbury resurfaced. AI-generated images allegedly began circulating. Fake evidence reportedly appeared everywhere at once, almost as if someone inside the royal machine desperately needed William distracted, weakened, emotionally cornered before he could reveal what he had found. And now the most disturbing question hanging over Buckingham Palace is no longer whether Camilla kept secrets hidden for decades. The real question is how far powerful people inside the monarchy are willing to go to stop those secrets from reaching the public. Because according to insiders, this stopped being a family dispute the moment William's own children allegedly became caught inside the chaos surrounding the hidden evidence. And somewhere behind palace walls tonight, terrified aides are reportedly asking the same question in whispers. The walls of Buckingham Palace had survived wars, abdications, divorces, scandals, leaked tapes, and public humiliation for generations, but insiders now whispered that nothing in modern royal history compared to the terrifying chain reaction Prince William had just unleashed. Because once Marcus confessed that the entire attack against William and Kate had allegedly been orchestrated to protect Camilla's hidden secrets, the monarchy itself reportedly entered a state of silent panic. Not public panic. Worse, internal panic. The kind hidden behind fake smiles, polished speeches, and carefully rehearsed appearances while senior aides desperately try stopping an explosion before the entire institution collapses in front of the world. Inside Kensington Palace, William reportedly became colder after hearing Marcus finally break down. Sources claim the confession changed him emotionally, because for the first time in his life, he allegedly believed he was no longer dealing with rumors or suspicions about Diana's suffering. He was now dealing with witnesses, evidence, manipulated scandals, secret operations, and coordinated attacks targeting his own family. And what terrified him most was not the damage to his public image. It was the realization that George had nearly been seriously injured simply because powerful people were desperate to recover what Diana left behind. According to insiders, William barely slept after George's injury. He reportedly sat beside his son's bed long after midnight, staring at the bandage across the child's forehead while replaying everything inside his mind. Diana's letters, the enda, the hidden necklace, the fake affair scandal, Victor breaking into Kensington Palace. It allegedly stopped feeling like separate events. Instead, William supposedly began seeing a pattern connecting every piece together into one terrifying conclusion. Someone had spent decades controlling narratives inside the monarchy while destroying anyone who threatened those secrets. Kate reportedly became equally shaken. Palace staff claimed she looked emotionally exhausted after days of online attacks accusing William of betrayal while secretly fearing for her children's safety at the same time. But according to insiders, George's injury changed her completely. The future queen, who once tried remaining diplomatic, allegedly became furious behind closed doors. She reportedly told William that this had moved beyond palace politics and into something dangerous, obsessive, and deeply personal. Because one thing haunted her above all else: if Victor had carried sedatives and lockpicking tools into Kensington Palace, what exactly was he truly prepared to do if George had not accidentally interrupted him? Meanwhile, across Britain, public opinion allegedly started shifting violently against Camilla once leaks about the failed break-in began spreading online. Social media exploded with outrage. Hashtags supporting William and Kate trended for hours. Commentators began openly revisiting old questions about Diana's years inside the royal family. Suddenly, people who had spent decades quietly accepting Camilla as queen reportedly began looking backward again, looking at old interviews, old photographs, old expressions, old timelines. And the most dangerous thing for the palace was this: once public suspicion awakens, it becomes impossible to fully control again. At Royal Police Headquarters, investigators reportedly intensified pressure on Victor, while digital specialists dissected every device recovered during the failed operation. And piece by piece, the walls allegedly started closing around Camilla's inner circle. Encrypted messages were recovered. GP's movements linked Victor to meetings meetings near Clarence House. Offshore financial transfers reportedly surfaced. Then came the devastating connection tying the anonymous instructions directly back toward Marcus. According to insiders, the evidence became so overwhelming that palace lawyers privately feared formal criminal proceedings could eventually become unavoidable if the situation escalated publicly. But nothing compared to the moment Marcus finally collapsed emotionally during questioning. Palace sources claim the longtime aide looked physically broken by the time he stopped resisting. His hands reportedly shook uncontrollably, his face pale, his breathing uneven. And then came the confession that allegedly sent shockwaves through everyone inside the room. Marcus reportedly admitted Camilla ordered the affair scandal against William and Rose to emotionally destabilize Kate the same way Diana had once been psychologically cornered during her marriage crisis. That sentence alone horrified investigators because it suggested strategy, deliberate emotional warfare, a repeated pattern, and somewhere inside Buckingham Palace, fear allegedly started spreading among senior royal aides, not because of tabloids, not because of gossip, but because they understood the deeper danger. If Diana's letters ever became public, millions of people around the world would begin emotionally reliving the entire tragedy from the beginning. Every old accusation against Charles and Camilla would return instantly. Every painful interview, every tearful photograph, every suspicious timeline. It would not feel like history anymore. It would feel alive again. Meanwhile, Camilla reportedly remained isolated behind palace walls, trying desperately to calculate her next move. Sources claim she understood the situation had escaped normal damage control. The usual media strategies were no longer enough because this crisis involved physical evidence and emotional symbolism connected directly to Diana herself. And that is the monarchy's most dangerous weakness. Diana remains emotionally untouchable to millions. The moment the public believes her voice was buried or manipulated, sympathy shifts instantly and violently against anyone perceived responsible. Insiders even whispered that private conversations began quietly discussing the unthinkable, whether Camilla's public role might eventually need reducing to protect the institution long term. That possibility reportedly terrified her more than legal threats because Camilla spent decades climbing toward acceptance inside the royal family. Decades enduring hatred, ridicule, blame, and isolation before finally becoming queen. And now, according to palace whispers, she allegedly feared Diana might still destroy everything from beyond the grave.